Well, howdy friends, and welcome back to the A Toyota Called Amelia YouTube channel. YouTube mostly based around my 1985 Toyota pickup that I bought as a 64,000 mile barn find coming up on 8 years ago. That is absolutely bonkers. And it's been a wild ride, and today I want to give you a whole update on the truck, what needs to be done to the truck, what we're currently in process with the whole thing, and some future plans, all of it. Just truck update. That's basically what I'm getting at. I got my handy dandy list here, and I suppose grab a beverage of choice and let's get to it. Well, I suppose we should just start from the beginning with what's going on kind of in life. So I have actually a massive trip planned for just later this year in Amelia, but we're actually going to be, I'm not going to fully announce the trip yet because there's still a lot to be worked out and a lot to be just kind of planned and figured, but I will say it involves this truck's first ever international border crossing. So that is very, very exciting, exploring a whole new country, exploring all sorts of new stuff. But in order to do so, as you can see, we don't have a front bumper right now because it's over on my my workbench. And by workbench, of course, I mean my patio furniture being stripped of all paint. And then this Saturday, me and a buddy are going to be working on the bumper mounts that broke. Probably going to end up being custom to some degree because you'll see in a different video, but the passenger side upper bumper mount came out in a few pieces. So we're doing great there. But this is my master list. This is my get this truck into another country and explore the mountains list. So here we go. All right, first things first. We got to inspect the axle knuckles and bearings, order parts if necessary. Well, if I'm entirely honest, I'm not really. I do know one knuckle is seeping a bit. There's some gunk. The other one is perfectly fine. And I don't really think that I'm going to have the extra time to fully rebuild one side because that is time consuming, messy, and requires tools that I don't personally own at the moment. But if it gets worse, obviously we'll take care of it. But right now, honestly, it's fine. I'm not losing diff fluid. It's all right. Every Toyota has a little bit of gunk under the knuckle there. And then replace parking brake cable. That is done. I wrote this list quite some time ago. I feel like I should be showing you guys these things. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, hang on. Rewind. Okay, so as I was saying, you can see valve cover, the half moon, and the gasket. I'm just gonna replace all of it. I'm not sure exactly where it's leaking from, but it's leaking pretty bad, as you can see down in there. And then the belts, they're just old. They're starting to fray on the edges a little bit. And, well, that's normal. So going to replace that, all the hoses. I am finally, for anybody who really owns one of these trucks, you'll know that this hose is actually supposed to be formed along the firewall. That's one of the heater hoses. So I'm going to find a factory Toyota hose to replace that with. Replace that. Replace that. Replace those silly hoses down there. And, oh boy, what else? Obviously, air filter. I'm also going to be doing a full coolant flush because as it sits right now, I believe the coolant that's in here is it yellow? Yeah, as ashamed as I am to say, I needed to do a coolant flush way back when, and I was at my brother's place. He had some yellow laying around, We threw it in there, and it's honestly been fine. It's been just freaking fine, but I don't like it. So we're gonna do Toyota Red in here as it, as God intended. And then past all of that, I am going to be greasing my drive line and replacing any U-joints that may need to be replaced. The rears are both almost brand new. They're maybe 4 or 5 months old. The fronts do, in fact, need to be done. So I'm kind of iffy on what I'm going to do there, just simply because of the double card-in. I ain't touching a double card-in joint with the 10-foot pole. That's going to be a shop job. So got to figure that out. But also, it doesn't spin unless you're in four-wheel drive or the hubs are locked. So not entirely sure how super imperative that is considering timeline, etc., etc., etc. And I don't have the hubs locked, or I'm not in four-wheel drive doing 65 miles an hour. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But we are also going to be doing front brakes. So the rear brakes all got redone about, again, I'd say 4 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago. Front brakes, I'm going to do calipers and pads. The rotors are honestly okay. I did replace the rotors and all the studs years ago, and they're holding up. I have no wobble. I have no anything, and they seem to be doing okay. So I'm not convinced I need to, but if I do, then I'll rebuild the axle knuckle because you have to get pretty deep in there anyways. All right, so yes, as far as mechanics go, we're basically just doing every consumable minus the ignition system. The ignition system is actually all new. Plugs, wires, distributor, cap, rotor, all of it. It's all new. I am going to be getting a new ignition coil, the igniter, because you do, on a trip like this, you do need to carry a spare. You just do. Because that is the one thing that will stop a 22R dead in its tracks. It just won't run. There's no symptom. There's no warning. It just won't run one day. And I did learn that the really hard way a few years ago. So every consumable plus water pump and thermostat and potentially oil pump, actually. So just everything, honestly. And potentially run the valves. I did run the valves about 3 months ago, but I don't know. Doesn't hurt to do it again. So moving on to cosmetics. So we are obviously in process with painting the front bumper. Going to pull the rear, strip paint off that, paint that as well. All four wheels are getting pulled and painted, and obviously a tire rotation in there. And then I do, in fact, have Poppy's patina in a box sitting in the shed. So all the patina, yes, including the heartbreaking rot that my tailgate is dealing with currently, this all legitimately popped up within the last, I would say, 6 or 7 months. That's all. It's all very new, and it still really hurts to look at. But I'm gonna grind it down as far as I can without disturbing the paint around it, clearing over it, and then on the back side, I'm gonna be using Eastwood rust encapsulator to coat the inside of the tailgate, and crossing my fingers. It's probably not gonna work, but whatever. We'll deal with that when the time comes. But clearing the truck, painting both bumpers, painting all four wheels, and then that Eastwood rust encapsulator is also going to go on everything underneath the chassis, the axles, everything. And it's going to be a hell of a lot of work. But I just need to make it happen. I do. So past that, we're going to be replacing the shocks and the steering stabilizer. And as you can see, that is a factory 1985 steering stabilizer. Now I have an Old Man Emu sitting in the shed, and I have some Bilstein 5100s sitting in the shed as well that are going to go on. And moving inside the truck, I officially have Flintstone Fab door cards that are made out of ABS plastic. So before those go on, I need to fix this. It is completely obliterated inside that door, which I also have replacement parts for. I have a new window run, new seals, new outer weather stripping. I have all the parts, just haven't had the time, and now's the time. So, oh, it's gonna be a lot now that I'm saying all of this out loud. Anyways, and before the trip, I'm gonna be pulling both seats and the center console, detailing underneath, detailing the whole interior, and also going to be removing everything from the camper. We're taking the camper down to bare truck bed for the first time in a really long time. A, because I need to clean underneath it. B, I need to put Eastwood rust encapsulator inside. How do I put this? Let's just do this. I need to put Eastwood rust encapsulator behind this because I do not want that getting any worse. And it's similar to the tailgate situation. Just backside, trap the rust, clear over this side. And I know, before anybody says anything, that is not how you deal with rust at all. Nope, not even a little bit. Well, the tailgate should probably just get a new tailgate. I do understand. I need to grind this down. I need to prep it. I need to have it painted, have it blended, whole thing. Like, yes, I'm aware. Is that going to happen? Absolutely not. I don't have the time or the money to put this into a paint booth. So, is what it is. It's getting cleared. But also, having everything out of the camper and it just being a bare truck bed, I'm going to go through everything and just kind of start over, wipe everything down, clean everything to as clean as it can possibly be. And it will also be a video, so look forward to that. But that is happening tomorrow because I need to transport my front bumper to my buddy's house so we could get the mounts done and get the bumper back on the truck and painted and the whole thing. So that is actually happening like soon, within 24 hours. And then really, once all that is done and back together, once the truck is cleared, wheels are painted, bumpers are painted, mechanical stuff is done, I do have the factory front mud flaps for this truck. They haven't been on in a really long time because, as you can see, it's gotten a little mangled. But you know what? I'm going to figure it out. I'll make it work. I'll get those back on because they're cleaned and freshly painted, the little white paint marker. Then I'm going to repaint the 4WD on the rear ones because obviously that is naturally starting to fade. And I'm really trying to rack my brain. A buddy of mine said he actually has some small speakers in very small speaker boxes that he'd be willing to give me to put behind my seats. So if we get to that, I'll absolutely take more audio in that cab. And shoot, it's a lot of mechanical stuff. It's a lot of cosmetic stuff, especially just stripping paint off these bumpers. Man, it takes forever. So it's gonna be a bit, but it's all very doable. I just work, like today I worked an 8-hour day, came home, and now I'm here. I'm about to start working on the bumper more. it's a lot, but as long as I just keep this up, stay diligent, work every day after work at least a little bit, we'll be able to get it done before we leave for this trip. So definitely very excited about this one. And yeah, truck's first international border crossing. Just have a lot of work to do before we get there. So stay tuned, get stoked, whatever you feel like doing. Leave some nasty comments. That'd be cool. I would love that. Yeah, past that, it's a Toyota. And I still daily this to work and back every single day without a front bumper. So I'm always keeping an eye on it. I'm always driving it. And yeah, so here we go. It's going to be a time, but we're doing it. We're doing it like right now. So see you on the other side, and I'll keep you updated. Thanks for watching.